She says services being shut down is a petty response from the landlord.
If we're paying rent, we need access to that. That's in our lease. We're supposed to have access to the laundry room. Who's gonna go around and take care of the ground?
Residents and activists are planning more events in 3 weeks at the property. Around this time last year, hundreds of birds were found dead around Pennsylvania. 1 year later, researchers say they still don't know what happened. Peter Sanger is an ornithologist at Muhlenberg College. He says researchers have ruled out West Nile virus, avian flu, and salmonella. One theory is that the birds had issues digesting cicadas, insects that emerged last year.
They were finding a lot of young birds filled with the exoskeletons of cicadas, so they couldn't ingest more food, and it was clogging their digestive tracts.
Sanger says it's unusual for the source of such a widespread sickness to remain a mystery. Checking sports, big win for the Phillies, sweeping the Marlins with a 4-0 shutout yesterday. The Phils are off for the All-Star break, and Kyle Schwarber, he'll make an appearance during that break. He's going to play in the All-Star game, and he will be in the home run derby. Philadelphia Union had a victory over Cleveland 2-1 yesterday. The Union on top of their game, on top of the Eastern Conference. Cloudy today, thunderstorms possible later in the day. They could be very strong with gusty winds, they say, in the Philly area. A high of 91. It's WHYY.
Support for NPR comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include Amazon Business. From small business to big enterprise and everything in between, Amazon Business works to help simplify the supplies buying process. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
It's Morning Edition from NPR News. I'm Rachel Martin.
And I'm Steve Inskeep. Why did it take close to 400 officers so long to confront one gunman?
Texas lawmakers ordered an investigation of the mass shooting in Uvalde. They found a series of failures and poor decision-making. Above all, nobody made the decision to move in quickly with the enormous firepower that was on the scene.
Texas Public Radio's Dan Katz is covering this story. Good morning.
Good morning.
How, if at all, does this legislative report change your understanding of what happened?
Well, in many ways it doesn't, but the first thing is this slow response was a failure of law enforcement at all levels. And this goes beyond the local school police chief, Pete Arredondo, who state officials have tried to place the blame on.
Yeah.
In fact, he only had 5 officers on the scene. You know, compare that to 150 Border Patrol agents, 91 state troopers, 25 city police officers, and 16 sheriff's deputies.
It's kind of sickening to look at the video now and realize how many people with how many weapons were on the scene and not using them. But who was in charge of all of those officers?
Unfortunately, we still don't have an answer to that. The report outlined what it called, quote, systemic failures and egregious decision-making among local, state, and federal officers, but it reiterates that many of the officers were unsure of who was in charge. Right now, Arredondo is on administrative leave, and right after the release of this report, Uvalde's mayor, Don McLaughlin, put Mariano Pargas on leave. He was the acting city police chief during the shooting. The mayor said the city is conducting an internal investigation on whether Pargas could have done more, or whether that was even possible with all the different agencies involved.
I guess the mayor also released his own city officer's body cam video. What does that show?
Yes, it was a more personal view of the response than what was also made public in 77 minutes of hallway surveillance. The body cam footage shows some officers urging action, some even breaking windows and helping children out of the school heroically, but it also shows confusion and a lack of leadership. The mayor released the body cam footage at a time when he himself has faced criticism, and he lashed out yesterday.